A jolly good end of 2023 to you, denizen, and happy 3rd anniversary of Hellgate City. I'm Kevin, this is Indebted Butts, the final out-of-world bonus check-in of the year. I have 7 bullet points and a gun that only holds 6, also not a gun, but my brain, so let's hop to it. I believe I already did wish everybody a happy 3rd Hellgate City's birthday, but I'm just driving that point home. I know I'd also mentioned that there were plans or something in the offing in the way of a live stream on something like Twitch with director's commentary, some pauses for Q&A and chatting, maybe some hijinks or games. I still do wish to do that. Date will be January 27th, which is my birthday, a Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until I'm done. Maybe 5 hours max. We'll see how long I can do it. Anyway, mark your calendar for January 27th at 1 p.m. and check the episode notes for the link to sign up or RSVP by the time this comes out. Now, I wish you well in this often stressful and difficult end-of-year holiday stretch. May your new Gregorian year burst out with a funky strut and a flamboyant swagger. If you're in need of solace, I get it. I've lost 2 friends this month, and I'm still processing everything. These are people I knew through doing stand-up comedy and young people. So, it's a lot. On top of everything else, this time of year is often difficult. For me, for the holidays, I understand that it is for a lot of people. If that's you, you might appreciate my recent public Patreon post titled Jolly Holidays. It addresses the push-pull of family gatherings and our attempts to marshal merriment. See the link in the show notes. One caveat, I mention a fellow's rough and tumble experience in a Baptist Sunday school in the mid-1900s, so be ready for that. With that said, I hope you've been enjoying Season 2, codename Companion, thus far. We're a little past the halfway mark. It's been a thrilling ride for me. I hope it has been for you too. Debt, Side A, the 19th episode, blasted out to patrons on Saturday and everyone else on Sunday. And like the rest of this season, I believe it represents some of my best work. May it brighten your day and ease you into a cozy night by the glow of a Yuletide fire or mobile device, whatever best warms your heart. Before I wrap this up, please allow me to reiterate, I'm grateful for you. Listening to Season 2, answering the polls and Q&As, chiming in on socials and our newly rediscovered and revived Discord, as well as our expanded Patreon, the Discord community. We'll see links to those in the, as you know, show notes. I'm grateful to you, first and foremost, for listening. It means a lot to me, and you've remarked on posts. You've turned what I sometimes fear is a lonely pursuit into a conversation. Things like the kind work done by Brandon, I see you. The kind words by that guy at Unjust Guardian on Twitter, I will not call it x.com, who wrote some tender, I love the show. I hope we get it for many more years. Thank you for that. That made my day. So there are a few good tweets left to be tweeted. I've sent a link to an exclusive bonus tale to 5 new free Patreon members. I hope you all got it. Everybody except for Dan Valero. I don't have your email, bro. So DM me if you want that link before year's end. Maybe use a Twitter or any social media. Also, those of you who dove back into Season 1 in anticipation of catching up, thank you. That's awesome. I'd be remiss not to thank our newest patrons like Mike Gran, who joined like a couple days ago. Y'all really hearten me and make capitalism feel a little less like a boot on the neck, which is a gift. Geez, that's almost priceless. We finally hit 12 subscribers. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of you who have signed up and pledged. It's meaningful, so thank you. We've hit some other milestones too this year. But before I rattle those off, I need to mention something no Spotify Wrapped metric can contain, and that is your support as living, emotional, complex human beings has given me some hope. I don't care if that sounds hokey. It's true. It's a dangerous, landmine-filled social media landscape out there. And of course, world as well. Like, obviously, there's wars happening. It's a largely insensitive social fabric that we live in. Like, people losing their jobs over stuff they're saying on social media has always kind of been a thing, but it's gotten to a point, I know it's censoring speech. I know people are self-censoring, and they're censoring things like, maybe we shouldn't kill these innocent kids? That's not a controversial position. The history of civil disobedience and protest has been around for a long time. The overlap of that and the surveillance state using this social media apparatus, it's scary, you know? Not just the state, corporations, and anyone weaponizing your public speech, it's dicey. We live in a cruel, unjust world where people are not generally really trying to connect or express kindness or understanding, and it's tough. To do what I do and to not stop and question yourself at times, like, am I crazy? Is this any good? Am I just speaking into the void? It would be weird not to do that. You have made this whole thing feel a lot less weird. That is something I'm extraordinarily happy to be able to say. They say that isolation, loneliness, division are the new plague, and I'm not disagreeing with them, but I'm committed to overcoming it, and I believe we do it together, bit by bit. I mean, if any of you has seen me do comedy in real life, which I assume most of you haven't, but if you have, you know that I ran a weekly comedy show in upstate Manhattan for about 6 years. Every Saturday at 10 p.m., a ton of comedians rolled through. A bunch of them have since had specials on Netflix and whatever. But that's not what mattered. What really was awesome was building this whole in-person community around it with the comics and the people from the neighborhood and people staying in Airbnbs in upstate Manhattan. It was really wonderful, and nothing has come close to filling that void since the pandemic, except for this show. And if I keep building it with you, because regardless of how it sounds, I cannot continue without both of us, I intend to add in-person components, live shows, stuff like table reads, streams, synchronous events. I know that that's ambitious, just knowing myself and how I like to rattle things off. Even without that as a goal, I'm just humbled and grateful to be where we are right now, and for you to be there with me every step of the way. Every story is about connection in that sense, and that has been a valuable component for me. I mean, it's beyond value. It's qualitatively just better to have that in my life. In that connection, I feel I'm growing creatively and as a person. So thank you for that, for listening. Listening's everything. Now, the launch of season 2 this September has resulted in our best season ever in terms of total listens per month for 3 consecutive months, or 4 now. A record number of folks listened to episode 0, Cypher, Sabotage Exposed, which is critical seeing how I subjected myself to modern torture tactic levels of sleep deprivation to get it done. Listeners streamed it 406% more than our average episode. In addition, seeing people continue to commence season 2 at episode 11 and catch up has also been heartening. I see people are filtering into the most recent episode, and that's a good sign. I mean, 84% of our listeners discovered us in 2023. That's mind-boggling. 75% of them started with Cypher, which is important. That is the starting point for the show. We streamed in 40 countries, and if you're in one of the fastest growing non-USA squads of listeners in Thailand, India, Italy, the Netherlands, or Germany, welcome. And just across the board, thanks for sharing the show with friends. I know somebody has, because 94% of you apparently discovered it from a direct link. That can't all be me spamming 1.5 subreddits. So to you who account for our 24% increase in streams and 88% new followers, I say, keep calm and carry on. Apparently, I've created 162 minutes of show this year, and if I have my druthers, that'll be closer to 180 once episode 20, Debt, Side B, drops in the coming days, maybe before January 1st. Have you shared Hellgate City with a friend? Or a like-minded group chat? Maybe WhatsApp? Or, I don't know, maybe you got added to some horrible Bitcoin selling group chat and you could just plug it in there. Actually, don't do that. I don't want to bring the wrong crowd. Look, anyone who enjoys funny sci-fi that doesn't suck may feel indebted to you for life when you share it. So that's incentive enough. Heck, anyone who even likes to read Kurt Vonnegut or even just owns an ironic Vonnegut novel-related t-shirt would probably feel the same endearment. So take that with you as you are sent off into the world to share a podcast. Such a weird thing. But it's really not weird because people do appreciate it. Invite a friend to the Discord and we can all talk about it. I know I hate watching a TV show that I love and then being like, who else can I talk to about this? That might be really the crux of my marriage. There's more to it than that. You got to have a shared sense of humor. But I recommend sharing the trippy YouTube video version of Cypher that you can get in the show notes. Uh-oh, somebody's buzzing. Just hang on for a second. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. As I was saying, if you have enjoyed the show and it's within your means, subscribe to our Patreon and join the community for a whole bundle of goodies. Paying patrons get access to a growing library of Glitch in the Waitrix bonus tales, sacred tunes, deluxe scripts, and more. You've heard all this, including my award-winning feature documentary. And in the spirit of the season of giving, I'm adding access to stream this documentary, Shadow of a Bout, for everyone who subscribes till the end of the year, regardless of the tier. And that means anyone who has subscribed as a hell hacker up until now in 2023 will also get a private YouTube link. You'll just need to have a YouTube account, which is automatic, I believe, if you have a Gmail. I'll walk you through it. If you're stuck, we'll figure it out. And then 2024, that's done. Also, for the next few days only, you can just buy Shadow of a Bout outright for $9.95, a 66.7% discount to make it as easy and accessible as possible for anyone who's wanted to see it and share it with their friends, and then it goes back to $29.95. Okay, and about this pricing stuff, look, I picked the pricing that Frederick Wiseman uses for his documentaries when he sells them. I'm not Frederick Wiseman. That guy's a living, breathing institution who's made a movie every year for like 60 years in a row. This is the only one I made. It took me years and then 16 years to even release it. So anyway, I'm extending that offer till year's end. And in addition to that, even if you can't afford to subscribe, which I understand most human beings can't, if you just join as a free member on our Patreon and your email is linked to your account, which I think is normal. It doesn't mean it's public or anything. It just means that like that's part of your profile sign in, whatever, what do you call that? Your handle that you sign in with. I'll shoot you a link to a free bonus tale. That's it. You just have to have an email address and join before 2024. So you got about, 2.5 days, 3 days. As mentioned, we currently have 12 patrons. You rock. And damn, that's a 140% increase since the launch of Season 2. And if we can get to 25 paid subscribers by year's end, which I know is an insane stretch that we're going to a little bit more than double what we currently have. But if we can do that, I'll create a rad alternate ending to our Halloween special, Baba Yaga O'Reilly, inspired by that song by The Who everybody thinks is called Teenage Wasteland. It'll eventually go public, and I will thank you in an epic credits shout out you'll be telling your grandkids about till the polar ice caps melt. Alexa, do we have polar ice caps?
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Alexa, have the polar ice caps melted?
The Arctic ice cover has declined significantly in recent years, while the Antarctic ice sheet has been relatively stable. Globally, glaciers and sea ice have also diminished. The melting of polar ice caps and glaciers contributes to sea level rise and climate change.
All right, we still have those. That's good to know. Discovery is our main challenge. And since it's so helpful when listeners rate and review the show on Spotify and Apple, for the rest of 2023, if you shoot me a screenshot of your review or 5-star rating, or even post it on socials and tag me, I'll shoot you a link to the uncut version of an exclusive bonus tale that I keep talking about here. And if you haven't noticed, I've poured my heart and soul into this show. I'd feel silly if more people never got the chance to bask in all of its facets, which is why you can finally preview all the Glitch in the Waitrix bonus episodes crafted for members of Patreon in the link in our show notes. Or just go to our Patreon, patreon.com/Hellgate City. You can also access those sweet bonus tales when you subscribe via Apple Plus. However, you get more behind-the-scenes perks as well as chillaxing songs from the soundtrack and other stuff on Patreon. Plus, they take less money out of your contribution, so it's a better deal for me. But hey, it's there if you're a Apple Plus freak. The last thing I'm gonna pop in here before I hit my final bullet is just a note about these two new tiers I created for Patreon. Gosh, I'll bet most of you have tuned out by now, but Futokoro-gatana, I think that's how it's pronounced. I hope I'm saying that correctly, which means secret advisor in Japanese, or bosom dagger, or that's the consultation tier that I created where I'll consult with you about your goals or stuff you're trying to learn in the audio drama comedy writing space. If you join that tier before the end of the year, you'll get a free copy of the handy guide for audio dramatists I've been planning to release in 2024. And look, maybe I'm being overambitious with that, and it's just a booklet. Nonetheless, worst case, it won't come out, and okay, fine. Or it will come out. I won't put out garbage, so you'll get a copy of it. And that tier includes everything the Dreamwalker tier gets and so forth. The Ace tier, which is the artwork tier. This is kind of a big one here, this slight twist, which I haven't published anywhere else. This is just for listeners, I guess. Only if you sign up before January 2024, you can acquire a piece of original episode art after paying for the second month. And that tier is expensive. It's the most expensive tier. However, and I just decided this for listeners, if you sign up before January 2024, you can acquire that piece of original episode art after paying just the first month. So it's basically half off what it's going to cost once we get into January, and what it's cost up until now. The only catch is that you will have to pay shipping separately. As long as it's in the US, it should be manageable with UPS, FedEx, or USPS with delivery confirmation and insurance. I don't know, that's like $20 to $30 or something. You can even pay it whatever cost with your own card if we can sort that out. I don't really care about that part. That's the only twist. These are stretched canvases and some canvas boards or panels with a lazy person's single nail or screw in the wall, and just boom. Since the canvas is framed, you can just hang it right off of that, or some more elaborate options. And I'm going to make that like very, very simple. See the public art page on Patreon, which is linked in the show notes, as with all these suggestions of links I've mentioned. And there you'll find detailed images, media, dimensions, and availability. Plus, that includes all the benefits of all the previous tiers. Futokoro-gatana, Dreamwalker, on down. Last thing, the format of the show as it exists now, for what it is what it's going to be. There is not an easily finagled silver bullet to life hack my way into weekly numbered episodes as of now. I've tried it. So I'll continue to do bonus in-between episodes for off weeks, unless I'm truly knackered or overextended. So then it might just be every other week, because one decision I've made this season has really guided that. And that is, I'm not doing all-nighters, something I've resorted to at various times throughout my entire life to stay competitive in the overachiever hamster wheel that is life in the United States of America. Something that has also been a go-to solution for me as a narcoleptic person, because I have at times been struggling to maintain my focus and attention, and falling asleep. Pulling an all-nighter is a way of just cramming all of your concentration and focus and using the rush of adrenaline and fear of the deadline to help drive you. I'm certain that has been baked into me in some negative way, then I'll probably be overcoming it for the rest of my adult life. But yeah, I'm not doing those all-nighters. They wreck me so badly in ways that I can't even perceive. Thanks to the shocking sleep facts that's really started to sink in. Very, very grateful that I've relinquished that ultimately self-destructive and self-sabotaging habit, good and noble as the intentions behind it may have been. It's very hard to unlearn that sort of habit, especially for somebody who's been a workaholic in the past. And although it may make some of you less excited that the momentum of releases will settle into a more moderate rock pace going forward, I do believe sincerely that this has kept the quality higher than it would be otherwise. And I still intend to deliver roughly 4 glitches per month. Maybe it'll be 3 some months, we'll see. If I exhaust this season, I may, and no promises, but one idea among others is that I may work backwards or start with episode 0 and layer in bonus tales retroactively for each of the episodes of season 1. Maybe they'll be called Glitches in the Matrix or Waitrix, maybe not. We'll find out when we get there, won't we? So, that's it. That's all I've got for you now. I wish you the happiest of New Year's and Godspeed, Dream Hacker. Till next year.